Hello guys and welcome to another episode of Legit Builds. Today we have something extra special. This has become very quickly one of my favorite builds. And it is using two weapons that normally are not regarded as very powerful. Because they're not. But we have here the Nightfall level 10, we have the cube gun level 10. The combination of those guns is basically what this whole build is centered around. I know that it looks kind of odd and difficult to tell exactly what the build does just looking at it, so I'm gonna explain what the whole deal is. So basically the build is focused on working with the Nightfall. We have a Deadly Calm as our mutator, which gives us 10% increased critical chance on up to 20% damage over 3 seconds. This stacks obviously with our ranged critical chance of 15%. So that would be 25 plus 5% of the weapon, that's 30%. This is important to mention, that the 30% critical hit chance, because that means that out of 10 bullets, 3 have a chance of, give or take, 3 of them are gonna connect as critical hits. Every 2 seconds, every time that we connect a critical hit, we are going to reduce our skill's cooldown by 3%. So basically every magazine that we shoot is going to give us 3% less skill cooldown. Yeah. So that way, and stacked with the Legacy Protocol, which reduces skill cooldowns by 20% and increases the skill duration by 15%, we basically have this, guys, very quickly. You can see here, skill cooldown 50% faster. So literally you have Bulletstorm every 30 seconds, and then you have Void Cloak every 37 seconds. And that's just normally, right? You have to take into consideration that every other magazine of Nightfall is going to give us 3% less. So you're always going to have skills. These two skills are important for 2 reasons. First one is offensive, the other one is defensive, okay? So you have to kind of like balance them out throughout the fight. Now, Bulletstorm is going to make your weapon automatic, which is very good, because the weapon is very strong, but it is semi-auto. With this, it's full auto, it gives you faster fire rate, faster reload speed. In our case, it's lasting 23 seconds, which is pretty decent. That's thanks to the Legacy Protocol. Then we have the Void Cloak, which lasts up to 69 seconds if there's no type of like damage. Then if you receive damage, depending on how much damage you receive, you're gonna decrease the timer. So if, for example, if you activate Void Cloak and you get hit by 100% of your HP, then 100% of the Void Cloak is gonna be consumed and it's gonna be gone. But it is a good way to mitigate damage. On top of Void Cloak, we also have a very big other defensive measure that is Shielded Hard, which gives us 100% of our life in shield for 20 seconds. Here you can see that I have enhanced critical hit range, stagger damage, 20% stagger damage, and skill cooldown. Stagger damage is important because, for whatever reason, the Nightfall has pretty good stagger at 15% stagger, and then we equip the Abyssal Hook for 80% stagger. Also gives us a little shield, so if you have to get into a melee situation, you can always just activate the shield, then use the mutator here. While you attack, you get more shield. If things get hairy, you'll use your Void Cloak, but this is not intended to be a melee build. I'm just explaining the versatility of this build. Then we have Burden of the Audacious. So this is one of the ways that this character has to heal himself. We're not using traditional healing methods here, nor regeneration. We're using dodge, perfect dodge regeneration, and lifesteal. So that's something to take into consideration. This is not regular healing. In fact, any healing that you would do would be reduced 50% due to this Burden of the Audacious. But perfect dodges heal 20% of our max health. So that's every time you dodge, and it's a good dodge, 20% HP. If you activate Void Cloak, anything that Void Cloak dodges, 20% HP. And take into consideration the traits that we're using. Untouchable comes with Invader, so we have 30% more invulnerability window. Then we have Fitness maxed out for 30% evade distance. We have swiftness maxed out, so you can see it's very mobile build. We have 30% increased movement speed while aiming. We do have maxed out Siphoner. We don't have maxed out Spirit in this build, and I'll explain why shortly. Ammo reserves, we have more ammo. This build rarely runs out of ammo. So this is one of the ways to heal is Burden of the Audacious. The other way to heal is using your Nightfall. That's basically, those are the ways for you to heal. If you're in desperate needs of heal, you can always use the skill and you can always cover your butt with shield. That's what you're going to be doing to survive. Now, when it comes to damage, the idea here is doing a combo. It is a very extended combo. If you do it correctly, you might actually last a whole fight just doing the combo, which is Dreadwalker. So Dreadwalker lets you enter into the Nightmare Realm, makes it difficult for them to hit you, gives you 25% fire rate and lifesteal. So that's how you're going to be healing. The purpose of this build is being able to always use this as frequently as possible. I tried doing a different build in which it would last as long as possible, but it was very difficult to get it over 17, 18 seconds. And it would increase the duration of me getting the ability back, which obviously was very hard to counter. I ended up deciding in just shortening all of the durations, and that's why we have the numbers that we have. Now, we do have 50% better skill cooldown and a way to regenerate it, but you might be wondering then what happened with the mod power generation? That's trash, right? It's just 14%. Well, this is one of the archetypes that I like using that I call the cube gun, the cube battery. So the cube battery is, I've always been insistent that the cube gun is an amazing gun. It's an amazing secondary weapon. Gives you infinite ammo, so in no situation you're going to run out of ammunition. It gives you a shield that you can use to protect yourself. You can use to throw and protect others. You can use to attack enemies in groups. So I had to use Ingenuity to compensate for the fact that, it kind of overheats, which is the only downside to it. But other than that, the cube gun is amazing. The cube shield is very good, and it's very versatile. Now, the reason why this is called a cube battery build, in my case, I like to call them that, is because Outcast Ring, it says that increases reload speed by 5% after 15 seconds after reloading, and it stacks 5 times. So you can see, if I go ahead and I reload under my stamina bar, you're going to see that I reload and I get the ring, 15 seconds of faster reload. And every time I reload, I get another stackable stack that gives me more reload speed, up to 25% reload speed. What happens with the cube gun is that once the bullets return, they count as reload, each one of them. So you can literally just do this before a fight and you already have 25% more reload speed. That's the first reason, and that's the first synergy that you're going to be using a lot with cube gun. Having this Outcast Ring charged with the 5 stacks increases your DPS of the Nightfall considerably because it has very low ammunition, so you're going to spend a lot less time doing it. On top of that, the utility perk for the Gunslinger gives you 10% more reload speed, and if the magazine is empty, 20%. So that is 45% more reload speed, and that is not taking into consideration the 50% whenever we activate Bulletstorm. So yeah, there's a lot of reload speed, which is needed and will increase your DPS with the weapon. And the second synergy is Shiny Hog Lure. So the thing with Shiny Hog Lure is reloading grants you 25 to 30 mod power to both weapons based on the percentage reloaded. So again, whenever those little bullets from the cube gun return to the gun, they count as a reload. So effectively, it does reload your mod, and I'll demonstrate it. Where are you going? Here it is. So right now you can see that we don't have any Nightfall mod, and I can actually just spend my mod for my cube gun. Just while shooting, you're gonna notice that as the bullets return, my mods regenerate, and now I have my Nightfall again. You see? So that's basically what you're going to be doing. With the combination of this and the critical hits that recharge your skills, you're going to be having your mods and your skills almost all the time. And it just takes a second, like just aiming at a wall or something, and you can recharge your Nightfall like in just a matter of seconds, and you're ready to go. So the combo is as follows. You already know what the build does. It is what I call a cube gun battery, and it is focused on the Nightfall. We do have a bit of shielding, we have a bit of stagger, we have excellent reload speed, we have some melee capabilities, and we have infinite ammo. We have shielding also in the cube shield, so we have a lot of tools, and on top of that, for emergencies, we have Void Cloak. Just dodging gives us health, using our Nightfall all the time gives us health. So that's basically the build. It's not so much as only a build, it's a play style, and that's what you have to look for in this type of games. It is not difficult to find an overpowered build online. It's simply not. That's what gets you the most views as a content creator, is finding something that's broken, glitched, or whatever, and do a build with it and be like, ooh, my super build, you can kill everything just farting once. Like, bro, come on. Okay, but where's the fun in that? There's no reason to make the game that easy. Even in Apocalypse, the game is considerably easy. So it's more important, in my personal opinion, finding a playstyle that makes the game fun. This is a game that makes you do different runs for different items, and you're always helping people and doing runs that, if you always do them with the same build, you're just basically playing the same game over and over again until it gets boring. If you play it differently and you have different builds and you do entirely different playstyles, then every run of the same level, even if it ends up being the same level, is a completely different experience. So that's kind of like where I'm aiming for with this build, and it actually works. So Nightfall is a weapon that since I first saw it, I'm like, this thing is the coolest, creepiest shit ever. I do not like that sometimes when the fingers open, there's kind of like a creepy vagina in there. I don't know. The fingers open and there's something creepy under it. But other than that, the weapon is fun. So basically, this is what you're gonna do, and this is the combo. You're gonna start every fight with your ability of the Nightfall. That's gonna give you it's decent DPS, like over 1500 consistently for 10 seconds. Like, you do some damage, immediately you're gonna start using your Bulletstorm. At any point, if you feel like you need survivability, you can use either your skill to dodge the Void Cloak, or you can use a shielded Heart Relic. So as you can see, you can maintain over 1000 DPS for a long time, and while doing this, you still have very good survivability. And as you can see, while I'm shooting this, I'm also recharging my Bulletstorm. At this point, since we don't have the Bulletstorm, then I would just change to that, activate this, and then just shoot with this so I can reload my Nightfall. And then I have the Nightfall and the Bulletstorm again. All while shooting, cloaked, and possibly shielded. That is a lot of defense. Like, if you go ahead, you don't have a lot of like traditional defense, but if you think about all the things that you have right now, you have the cube shield, you have the shield, you have the Void Cloak, and on top of that, if you do this, you have like even a smaller hitbox. So overall, the build focuses on survivability through evasion. You can see that thanks to my traits, I have pretty good evasion. It's not 100% focused, but it has a strong evasion, and evasion and shield is what's going to keep you alive. So let's go ahead and see some gameplay. For this one particularly, I am going to be posting a few gameplay videos that I've done. They are not precisely with this iteration of the build, just so you know, because I have been testing different moving things here and there. But it's still that they're still all Nightfall. They're still all Nightfall builds with the cube gun battery strategy. So you're gonna be seeing the gameplay, you know, the many multiple ways of using the cube gun. Again, excellent weapon, an SMG that at the right range is destroyed. Like, at this range, it's very easy to just kill a bunch of stuff. Plus, you're always reloading your cube. So if you're fighting like at a optimal range, you can get a cube even before the other cube has gone, right? Here. So you can basically just be spamming cubes if you want. They don't do a whole lot of damage, being honest, but they let you move behind them in different fights, you know, that you might have, you might need cover. It lets you cover for friends. It's fun, and it can save you from very interesting things you would have not thought of previously, right? So, yeah, and something else that's worth mentioning, this build can easily be tweaked a bit to do different things. It can be modified to be 100% stagger build if you add the stagger ring and a few more things. You could do potentially a perfect dodge build using mutators and other rings to benefit, focusing more on the evasion. You could remove this, the burden of the audacious, just removing that strategy altogether, going to normal healing and adding a ring here for something else, like for example the stagger or other. Like with just a few changes, this build can be modified, and the important thing is that the synergy between the Nightfall and the cube gun recharging the Nightfall stays there, because the Nightfall on its own increases your survivability by a lot. With this being said, also, this cube gun, outcast ring, shiny hog lure works on other builds that have slower reload weapons, and you can either remove the outcast ring and just keep the shiny hog lure with the cube gun to reload weapons such as Star Killer and things of the such, so that you can always have your mod available. So yeah. Let's go ahead now and find something to do, and so we can record some gameplay, and thanks for watching.
Pour through for Fort Wayne shot.
Bruh.
We lay there our most
Fuck. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm lying, I'm not. Cool. Ooh, that was it? Just a bunch of like floating craps? Ooh, sorry. Now what? What is that trash? What the? Where did all these fuckers come from? Oh, this is trash, bro. What the fuck is that thing? Fuck no, bro. Fuck no. Fuck no. I don't want none of that. Where's that crap? There you are. You silly shite. Nah. Yeah, fuck this. Ooh. Where's the guy? Fuck no, bro. Ooh, I got stuck. Die, you creepy shit. Again with that poop, bro. Fuck, this is not looking good. Where is it? Well, that was not too bad considering it is apocalypse difficulty. I thought it would have gotten worse.